You're standing at the foot of your stairs. Maybe it's just a few steps. But somehow they've started to feel steeper, longer, and more daunting than ever before. What used to take you seconds now takes effort. And maybe, just maybe, you've begun avoiding them altogether. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. In fact, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 4 Americans over the age of 65 experiences a fall every year, and many of those falls happen on or near stairs. But here's something most people don't realize. The struggle with stairs often isn't because you're getting weaker. It's because your body has slowly forgotten how to move the way it once did. A groundbreaking study, published in the Journal of Aging Research in 2023, uncovered something surprising. Researchers found that 73% of adults over 60 who struggled with stairs weren't actually lacking strength. Instead, they had lost very specific movement patterns that most conventional workout programs completely ignore. This discovery opened the door to a new kind of solution, one that doesn't require gym memberships or fancy machines. Enter Dr. Michael Chen, an orthopedic surgeon at Johns Hopkins University. He tested 5 simple exercises based on those forgotten movement patterns with over 1,200 seniors. The results were stunning. After just 8 weeks, 89% of participants reported climbing stairs with the same ease they had decades earlier. These were not elite athletes. These were everyday people, just like you, who had spent years believing that difficulty with stairs was just a part of aging. But it doesn't have to be. The key lies in reactivating your body's built-in coordination systems. Not just building muscle, but retraining how your muscles work together. And today we'll walk through the exact 5 exercises that help those seniors regain their freedom, starting with one that's deceptively simple but profoundly effective. Let's begin with what might be the least flashy, yet one of the most powerful, the wall sit hold. At first glance, it doesn't look like much. You lean against a wall and slide down into a seated position. No weights, no movement. But what's happening inside your muscles is anything but passive. This is about endurance, specifically isometric endurance. That means holding strength in one position, which is exactly what your legs do every time you pause mid-step on the stairs. A study from the University of Michigan in 2022 found that people who practiced wall sits for just 90 seconds a day increased their stair climbing speed by 34% in only 6 weeks. Why? Because when you climb stairs, your quadriceps, the big muscles on the front of your thighs, are not constantly moving. They're often holding your body in place while the other leg moves. Traditional squats don't train this kind of hold, but wall sits do. Here's how to do it safely and effectively. Find a sturdy wall and stand with your back flat against it. Walk your feet forward about 2 feet, keeping them shoulder-width apart. Now slowly slide down the wall until your thighs are parallel to the floor. Your knees should form a 90-degree angle and stay directly above your ankles, not pushed out past your toes. Press your lower back gently into the wall and engage your core. If you're new to this, start with just 20 seconds. Form matters more than duration. Your weight should be balanced through your heels, not your toes. And don't forget to breathe normally. Many people instinctively hold their breath during isometric exercises, but that can spike your blood pressure. Instead, keep your breathing steady and relaxed. Over time, you'll gradually increase your hold time. A good rule of thumb is to add 5 seconds each week until you can hold for 90 seconds. And when that becomes comfortable, here's a variation orthopedic specialists often recommend. While holding the wall, sit gently, lift one heel off the floor for 5 seconds, then switch to the other heel. This small change mimics the single leg stability your body needs every time you take a step up. A report from the Cleveland Clinic found that seniors who progressed to this single heel lift variation experienced a 28% boost in stair confidence. That's the power of targeted, intentional training. No need for machines or weights, just your body, your wall, and a few minutes of focused effort. Many people find it easiest to do wall sits in the morning when their muscles are fresh and less fatigued. You can do them while watching TV, listening to music, or even waiting for your coffee to brew. Just make sure to avoid doing them right before bed, as they can leave your muscles feeling a little too energized for sleep. This small habit, when practiced consistently, lays the foundation for renewed strength and mobility, and it's only the beginning. Let's move on to the second movement, which challenges one of the most overlooked aspects of stair climbing: going down. It might seem counterintuitive, but research shows that descending stairs actually demands more muscle control than climbing up. And yet most people focus all their energy on step-ups or leg presses, forgetting that the most common accidents on stairs happen on the way down. This brings us to the exercise known as the controlled step-down. In a 2023 study conducted by Harvard Medical School, researchers followed over 800 adults aged 60 and above. They found that those who practiced controlled step-downs improved their overall stair navigation by 45% compared to just 22% improvement among those who focused only on step-ups. That's more than double the benefits simply by shifting the direction of movement. So why is stepping down harder? The answer lies in how your muscles work. When you go downstairs, your quadriceps and gluteal muscles perform eccentric contractions. That means they're lengthening while under tension, a motion that's more taxing and far more prone to decline with age. It's like slowly lowering a heavy grocery bag rather than just picking it up. The slow, controlled motion demands balance, strength, and precise joint alignment. That's why step-down training is so effective. To begin, you'll need a low step or sturdy platform about 6 to 8 inches high. The bottom stair in your home works perfectly. Stand on the step with both feet near the edge, then shift your weight onto your right foot. Slowly lower your left foot toward the floor, taking a full 3 seconds to reach the bottom. Let your toes barely touch the ground before pressing through your right heel to return to the starting position. Remember, the goal is not speed, it's control. Keep your right knee aligned directly over your foot and avoid letting it collapse inward, a common mistake that reduces effectiveness and increases stress on the joint. According to biomechanics researchers, allowing the knee to drift inward can reduce the exercise's benefit by as much as 40%. Just as important as your legs is your posture. Keep your chest lifted and your eyes looking forward. This builds proprioception, your body's ability to sense its position without relying on visual cues. A study from the University of Pittsburgh found that seniors who looked down during stair descent were 60% more likely to feel unsteady. So train your body to move with confidence. Begin with 8 repetitions on each leg. After 2 weeks, increase to 12. When that becomes easy, hold a light dumbbell or even a soup can at your chest to add gentle resistance. In a Mayo Clinic study, participants who added just 5 pounds of resistance improved their stair control by an additional 38%. Do step-downs 3 times per week, and always allow at least 1 rest day between sessions so your muscles can rebuild and adapt. Now, let's talk about an area of the body that rarely gets attention, yet plays a critical role in how stable you feel on stairs: the sides of your hips. The third movement is called the standing hip abduction, and it strengthens the hip abductor muscles, which are responsible for keeping your pelvis level as you shift weight from one leg to the other. If you've ever felt wobbly or had to reach for a railing, even when climbing slowly, chances are these muscles need strengthening. A landmark study from Northwestern University in 2024 tested over 1,500 adults over the age of 60. The researchers found that hip abductor strength was the single strongest predictor of stair climbing confidence. Participants with strong hip abductors were 71% less likely to use handrails and reported fewer incidents of stumbling or swaying. That's an astonishing statistic and one you can act on starting today. To perform the movement, stand next to a wall or a sturdy chair for balance. Place your feet together and shift your weight onto your left leg. Keep your right leg straight and slowly lift it out to the side. Don't lean your torso. The movement should come entirely from your hip, not your back or shoulders. Lift until you feel a tightening along the outside of your hip, then pause for 2 seconds and lower slowly. The emphasis here is again on control, not height or speed. You'll also notice that your standing leg works just as hard as the one that's moving. Keep a slight bend in your left knee and engage your core to prevent your pelvis from tilting. A simple mental cue helps keep your form in check. Imagine you're balancing a book on your head. That image helps maintain vertical posture and proper alignment, which is exactly what your body needs to navigate uneven ground or shift weight between steps. Start with 10 repetitions on each leg. If you feel a burning sensation on the side of your hip, that means you're doing it right. After 2 weeks, consider adding a resistance band around your ankles. A study from Boston University found that adding moderate resistance to this movement resulted in 43% greater improvements in stair performance compared to doing the movement with body weight alone. What makes this exercise particularly powerful is that you can do it every day. Unlike larger muscle groups, the hip abductors recover quickly and benefit from frequent stimulation. Try doing it during commercial breaks or while waiting for your coffee to brew. In a 12-week study conducted by the University of Delaware, daily practice, just 2 sets per day, was more effective than more intense training done only 3 times a week. The lesson here is clear: consistency beats intensity when it comes to retraining your balance and stability. Together, the step down and the hip abduction movements work to build your confidence, your control, and your steadiness on stairs. They address the part of the stair climbing process that most people never think about until it becomes a problem: what happens between the steps when your weight shifts and your balance is tested. Now that we've built control, balance, and stability, let's turn our focus to something just as essential: power. Not the kind of power you need to run a marathon, but the kind you need to stand up from a chair without using your arms, or to launch yourself into that first step on a staircase. This next movement, called the sit-to-stand, is one of the most accurate predictors of independence in older adults. It doesn't require any special equipment, just a sturdy chair and your own body weight. But don't let its simplicity fool you. When done correctly and consistently, the sit-to-stand can dramatically improve your ability to climb stairs with ease and confidence. In fact, researchers at Duke University used 3D motion analysis to study how stair climbing compares to other movements. What they found was remarkable. The muscle activation pattern involved in rising from a chair was nearly identical, 87% identical to be exact, to that of climbing stairs. That means if you can improve your ability to stand from a seated position using just your legs, you're also directly improving your stair climbing ability. Even more compelling is what the National Institute on Aging discovered. People who could perform 15 sit-to-stands in 30 seconds were significantly less likely to experience difficulty with stairs, regardless of their age. This is a movement rooted in real-life function, and regaining confidence in it can change the way you interact with your environment. To begin, choose a firm chair, something that places your knees at about a 90-degree angle when you're seated. Avoid soft couches or recliners, as they force you into deeper angles that make the movement unnecessarily difficult. Sit toward the front edge of the chair with your feet flat on the floor, positioned slightly behind your knees. Cross your arms over your chest to avoid using them for momentum. This forces your legs to do the work, just like when you're climbing stairs and can't rely on a handrail. The movement begins with a gentle forward lean from your hips, not your back. Think of moving your nose over your toes. Once your weight shifts forward, drive through your heels and stand up, fully extending both your hips and knees. At the top, pause briefly, just half a second, to ensure full extension. Then lower yourself back down slowly and with control. Avoid dropping into the chair. The downward phase of the movement is just as important as the upward, especially for training the muscles responsible for descending stairs safely. One key detail that many overlook is your breathing. As you rise, exhale firmly. This activates your core and increases your force output by up to 15% according to sports science research. As you return to the seated position, inhale. This rhythmic breathing not only supports performance but also helps regulate blood pressure, particularly important for older adults. In terms of progression, begin with 3 sets of 8 repetitions, resting about 60 seconds between sets. After 1 week, increase to 10 repetitions per set. By the 3rd week, aim for 12 to 15 reps. Once you can comfortably complete 15, you can make the exercise more challenging by either using a lower chair or holding the bottom position for 2 seconds before standing. This pause increases muscular engagement and better mimics the power needed for that initial step up a stair. A 2023 study from the National Institute on Aging found that seniors who included this brief pause improved their stair climbing strength by an additional 31%. You can perform sit-to-stands every other day, and it's best done in the afternoon when your body temperature and muscle performance are slightly higher. But ultimately, consistency is more important than perfect timing. In fact, the Duke study also showed that people who stuck to a consistent exercise time, even if it wasn't optimal, had 40% better adherence and long-term results. And now we come to the final and perhaps most transformative movement of all, the heel raise with strategic holds. This exercise focuses on 2 powerhouse muscles in your lower legs, the gastrocnemius and the soleus. Together, they provide up to 40% of the total force needed to propel you upward on stairs. But here's what most people don't know. It's not just strength that matters, it's power endurance, your ability to generate force repeatedly and in a controlled way. Researchers at Stanford University discovered that when older adults performed heel raises, combined with timed holds at the top, their stair climbing speed increased by 67% in just 8 weeks. That's an astounding figure. But even more interesting is what participants reported. Not only could they climb faster, but they said stairs felt 70% easier. And that feeling, that sense of ease and effortlessness, is what makes this movement so life-changing. To perform the basic version, find a step or raised platform where your heels can hang slightly off the edge. Hold on to something stable for balance, like a wall or the back of a chair. Then rise up onto the balls of your feet as high as you can go. The goal isn't speed, it's height. At the very top, pause and hold for 3 full seconds. This isometric contraction at peak height stimulates your type 2 muscle fibers, the ones responsible for power and quick reactions. These fibers are the first to diminish with age unless they are specifically trained. After holding at the top, slowly lower your heels back down over a count of 3 seconds until they drop just slightly below the edge of the step. This stretch at the bottom is equally important. A study from the University of Southern California showed that using the full range of motion, including this bottom stretch, improved ankle flexibility by 45% and increased push-off power by over 50%. The complete cycle, rising high, holding at the top and lowering with control, activates every layer of your calf muscle structure. What makes this exercise even more special is how quickly people see results. In the Stanford trial, many participants noticed improved stair performance in just 10 days. That kind of rapid feedback not only builds confidence, but also encourages consistency, which, as we've already seen, is the real secret to long-term progress. Once you're comfortable with heel raises using both feet, try the single-leg version. Just stand on one foot, rise up onto your toes, hold for 3 seconds, then lower slowly. That shaking you might feel. It's a good thing. It means your small stabilizer muscles are working. These are the same muscles that keep you steady when walking on stairs or uneven ground. progress step by step. Start with both legs for 2 weeks. Then add a set of 6 single-leg reps per side. By week 5, aim for all 3 sets as single leg. A Stanford study found this slow progression gave double the results in stair climbing compared to jumping in too fast. For best results, do heel raises 10 minutes after a short walk. Warm muscles respond better. Research shows doing these movements on warm muscles boosts activation by over 30%. If you're ready for more challenge, try doing them on a soft surface like a yoga mat. That small instability strengthens more muscle fibers. You can also vary your toe position straight slightly out or slightly in to work different parts of your calves and improve balance. Give yourself enough rest. About 90 seconds between sets helps your muscles recover and keeps the quality of your reps high. Don't rush. The goal is precision, not speed. Your mindset helps too. As you rise, imagine pushing the floor away instead of lifting up. That simple mental shift increases muscle engagement. At the top, picture yourself growing taller. It keeps your posture strong and the movement clean. And remember to breathe. Exhale as you rise, hold gently at the top, and inhale as you come down. This keeps your core steady and supports your blood pressure. This one movement builds the power you need for stairs, but it also brings back control and confidence. Done consistently, it can change how you move through your day, one step at a time. You've now learned 5 simple movements. Each one targets a different part of what makes stair climbing feel easier: endurance, control, balance, strength, and power. Together, they retrain your body in the way it naturally moved years ago before things like pain, hesitation, or fatigue started to slow you down. The wall sit builds lasting strength in your thighs. Step downs teach your muscles to slow and control your steps. Hip abductions help with side-to-side stability. Sit to stand gives you power to rise and move forward. And heel raises strengthen the push-off muscles that help you climb with confidence. Each exercise takes just a few minutes. You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment, just consistency. In fact, most of the studies we mentioned, whether from Stanford, Harvard, or the National Institute on Aging, found that the people who improved the most were not the strongest at the beginning. They were simply the ones who practiced regularly. So if stairs have started to feel harder, don't wait until they become a fear. Start small. Pick one of these exercises and try it today. Even 10 minutes every other day can change the way you feel next month. And remember, this isn't just about stairs. It's about being able to carry groceries, play with your grandkids, or walk into your favorite cafe without needing to think about every step. Movement is freedom. And that freedom is something you can build back one movement at a time. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. When was the last time you climbed stairs without even thinking about it? Was it 5 years ago, 10, or has it already started to improve? Let us know in the comments below. Your story might be the one that inspires someone else to begin. If you found this helpful, please like this video and consider subscribing. We've got more simple science-backed tips for healthy aging coming soon, and you won't want to miss them.